Hey everyone, it's Ethan here from Brickhouse Vintage once again, and today we're going to show you how to make some rustic pumpkins out of some old barn beams. Let's get started. So let's start off by going over some of the materials and tools that we'll need to complete this project. First thing, obviously, is our wood. I'm using these old beams. I like the older wood if we can get it, simply because it has a lot of nice texture and rustic finish to it already. So when you paint over it and we distress it down, it's really going to give it a nice finish. Not everybody has these available to them. We usually pick them up at public auctions and things like that, pretty cheap. But you can always use new wood if you want. If you want to get new lumber from the hardware store, it's perfectly fine. It'll just give it a little bit of a different finish. So we're using these today. And you want to get something that's a little bit thicker, a little bit wider if you can. So when you stand them up, they stand up nice and solid. So that's something to think about as well. Next thing is going to be what we're going to use for our stem. We usually use railroad spikes. Not everybody has these available to them either, or can find them. Sometimes you can find them at flea markets. You probably buy them online too. But we like using these simply because they just look cool, gives it more of an industrial look. But you can use whatever you have available. You can use old lag bolts, carriage bolts, anything you want. We simply like to stick with the railroad ties because it gives it a unique look, a cool look. Drill bits. I use, this is a 5/8 inch. You can use paddle bits if you want. I personally like using this auger bit simply because it just cuts into the wood a lot nicer when we're drilling a hole for the spike. Now, obviously you notice square spike, round auger bit. With softer woods in particular, when you drill your hole, and we pound the spike in, it'll just kind of move the wood. It won't split it or anything. Unless you already have splits in the wood, then you have to be a little bit more careful. But for the softer woods in particular, you drill your hole, we're going to pound the spike in, and you won't have a problem. It'll just kind of go right down the hole and kind of make its own corners. And chalk paint. We're just using a simple white chalk paint today from Walmart. It's like the cheapest chalk paint you can get. You can use whatever paint you want. Sometimes we'll use Fusion's mineral paint. Sometimes we'll use something else. The chalk paint kind of sands real nice though. Gives it a nice distressing. So that's what we're going to be using today. And obviously we make orange ones too. You can use whatever color you want. We're just doing white today just because. So with that, I'm going to cut down my beams. I have this small piece left over here. And I have another piece back here that we're going to use to cut down. We usually use the sizes of 16 inches, 12 inches, and 8 inches. So between those three, it gives it a nice difference between the sizes. Sometimes depending on how much actual wood we have, it might go a little bit smaller. We have like medium sizes that we do as well. But today we're going to be doing a 16-inch one, a 12-inch one, and an 8-inch one. So we're going to cut those down now. Okay, now that we got all of our pieces cut, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna drill the hole in the middle of each top one. I'm gonna again use my auger bit here. Just a lot easier. It kind of bites in and just drills the hole a lot easier. But you can use any bit you have, paddle bit or a regular drill bit will work too. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna drill those holes in the top. Okay, now that we got our holes drilled, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a sander and just sand off a lot of these splinters, rough edges. You can see there's a little bit of dirt on this one yet from laying in the dirt in a barn or something. So we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna sand this down real quick. Not a heavy sanding. We want to keep a lot of that detail and texture in there. The saw marks, the unevenness, the nail holes, you don't want to sand all that out. But we do want to take off some of that extra dirt and splinters, so we're going to do that now. Now that we got our boards just roughly sanded, got a lot of the splinters and things off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a coat of paint on. I did water this down just a little bit just to make it a little more thinner. We wanted more of a whitewash than we do a heavy paint on there. But you can do it either way you want. You can do it just the paint itself if you want. I want more of a whitewash though. Just a little bit more of a stain type finish instead of a heavy paint. Okay, now that our paint is dry, we're going to go ahead and just give it a light distressing. I'm just going to use a piece of 150 grit sandpaper and just kind of go over the edges, go over the details a little bit, and just let some of that nice detail come through. Okay, and there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to drive our railroad spikes into the tops for the stems. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to use a large hammer. Makes it a little bit easier. They go in a little bit easier if you do them on a concrete floor or something like that. I'm just doing them on the table here so you guys can see a little bit easier. So now we're going to take these over and we're going to clear coat them with Rust-Oleum semi-gloss spray clear coat. So I'm going to show you that now. All right, and now that the clear coat is dried, and it just adds an extra level of protection in case you want to sit them outside on a porch or something, but it also kind of darkens up the wood underneath, gives it a real nice finish. So now that we're done with that and it's dried, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to tie some burlap around. Heather had cut these for me. Pretty simple, just adds a little bit extra detail to it, kind of makes it look a little more rustic. And you can use raffia, you can use burlap, you can use kind of anything similar. And there you have it. It's that easy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. And with that, we'll see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video with us. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do.
Like, share, and subscribe.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing.
See you next time.
Bye.